Hello and welcome back, everyone. In the last episode, we took down the underground pass in order to get the Iban's staff. Now, we needed that staff in order to run Barrows in a more efficient way. This video is going to be a bit more reminiscent of the earlier ones, where it's a lot more of my thoughts going on rather than just doing a quest and talking about that. Now, without further delay, let's take down some Barrows. Here is my gear setup, and I know what you're thinking. God damn, he looks good. Oh my god, thank you so much. The run started out pretty rough, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't realize there was a prayer draining mechanic, and because of that, I ended up using way more prayer pots than I needed to. But let's all remember that this is a learning experience, and this is literally my first time ever doing Barrows. So just bear with me for a few. There were also some nerves going into it, not wanting to die or make a fool of myself in some way. I'm sure I achieved the latter regardless, but that's fine. The kills came faster than I thought. These dudes have terrible magic resist, which makes the Iban's blast rip into them, which is kinda nice. I timed my first run, and it came in around 15 or so minutes. Just call me Lightning McQueen at this point, honestly. I'm fucking cruising through these guys. I knew that this was a little slow, but then I watched my friend in maxed gear run through the Barrows in about 3.5 minutes, so I knew that I was in for a bit of a long journey, but I was here for it. Now, I'm going to stop the video right here, and then I'm going to let you guess how many chests it took for me to get my very first Barrows item. Go ahead, write down your answers in the comments below, and we'll see if you're right. No, really, go ahead, I'll wait right here. Okay, we're good? Perfect, let's get back into it.
Turn off auto retaliate.
Okay, auto retaliate is yeah, it's right here. Okay.
Yeah. And then go loot. It'll give you like a couple seconds.
All right, here we go. Oh, that's good, right?
Oh my god, it's fucking.
No, that's good. That's good. Your voice says it's good, right?
Holy shit!
Fuck, dude. I did eventually get better at the runs, not using as many supplies, but it was still about 10 to 15 minutes per run, which was kind of brutal. I used this gear setup for the first 21 runs before I ended up looking into upgrading some pieces of gear. But before there were any actual gear changes, I went straight to West Arty and I upgraded the Iban's staff to hold more charges because fuck running the underground pass that many times. The main thing I wanted to do was increase my prayer bonus because I could tell that's where most of my money and supplies were going. So I looked at a recommended Barrows setup from the wiki, and there were 4 things that I could change in order to be slightly more efficient. First was getting the Arty cloak from the Easy Achievement Diaries. Second was getting a combat bracelet. Third was getting a god book. And last was getting a dragon dagger. 2 of those were going to be real easy to get, so I just yoinked them off the GE, being the combat bracelet and the dragon dagger, so we were good to go there. Getting the Arty cloak was also pretty easy. It just took a bit of doing, but about 20 minutes or so later, I completed the Easy Achievement Diary and claimed my prize. Getting the God Book, however, took a little bit more work because I needed to complete the quest Creature from the Deep. With the power of editing, we find ourselves fighting the Dagonoth Mother. Oh my god, please. Oh shit. Oh no, oh help. Oh please, this is gonna kill me. Oh no. Oh. No problem at all. I get my green book, and that's an extra +5 prayer bonus. I don't know which book is best. I just picked green because I like the color. So here are the gear changes and stats that changed in accordance to equipping them. I like to call this the second era of my Barrows journey. The vast majority of my runs are going to be in this exact setup. I immediately noticed a difference with the prayer bonus, and I knew that I made the right choice getting these items. I was able to start taking only 2 pots, and I felt comfortable doing that. I also found out which brothers are the easiest to kill for my setup. In order from easiest to hard, it would go Torag, Varak, Guthin, Aram, Darok, and Carol. But to be honest, most of the brothers are pretty easy except for Carol. I don't know what it is about that guy, but I splashed on that dude more than a kid at Soak City. It was fucking infuriating. He just refused to get hit. And I put Darok in the second hardest because, as you know, he can and will fuck your whole day if your prayer drops at the wrong time. Just like that. God damn it. Oh yeah, by the way, we are still dry on getting an item. How are your guesses going so far? That counter's just kind of going up and up, isn't it? Yeah. It got to the point where I looked up to see if there were any prerequisites in order to get the items from the Barrows, because I read it was a 1 in 17 chance if you kill all the brothers to get any item. And let me tell you, when I say, for every single run, there was not a brother alive at the end of it. My rewards were just runes after runes after runes, sometimes the occasional bolt rack or stack of coins, but never an item. I did manage to get an elite clue early on, but there's no way in hell I can do that. But learning the ropes of the combat, using supplies, plus literally no drops, I was only making about a few K every trip or so. I was hoping for a big payout from the game, but it taught me really fast that I need to know my place, and I have to understand the cruel mistress that is RNG. I felt like I was going crazy, doing run after run, killing these brothers, seeing the same players over and over like a fucked up version of Groundhog Day. I was slowly gaining combat levels because of how long I've been here, until eventually the dam broke, and there it was. On chest number 66, my very first item, a Carol's leather skirt. I was pretty pumped, honestly. I was very excited to see that. Out of all of the brothers, if I were to get gear that I wanted to possibly use, it would definitely be Carol's. So it's good because I can either use it in the fight caves or I can sell it for about 450k. So it's a win-win all around. With my first item finally obtained, you know I had to go to see if I get a back-to-back. And, well, that was underwhelming. In fact, I didn't get another piece of gear until 18 chests later. So even after going 66 dry, I still technically went dry on my second item. These brothers just really don't want to give it up, do they? Oh, and my second item? It's just, you know, the most valuable piece of gear that they have. A Torag helm, coming in at a cool 88k. Can I get like some Arims for the money, or maybe a Carol's crossbow so that I can use it like in combat? I guess it's fine. And look, maybe my luck has started to turn around, because only a few chests after getting the Torag's helm, I get the Torag's hammers. I mean, at least they look cool, right? But I would still like Torag to honestly stay the fuck away from me. He's stinky and I want to hang out with the cooler brothers, Aram and Carol. It was around this time that I decided to take a break from running Barrows to once again look into upgrading my gear. And the only upgrade that seemed reasonable to get for me was the helmet. So I needed to get either the Berserker helm or the helm of Neath's Knots. So that's exactly what I did. I once again will show you with the power of editing that I was able to complete the Fremennik trials, but when I went to try and buy the helm on the GE, my money just kind of sat there. So instead of waiting, I went and completed the Fremennik Isles. These quests were fine, they were okay. To be honest, I really didn't like trials that much. It felt just like a lot of running back and forth, back and forth. Fremennik Isles was a bit better, I will definitely say that. Especially this part right here, where I finally had enough of this king's bullshit and I call him out on it. God, fuck this guy. He's so annoying. I'm so glad we just rip into him. I also get my ass handed to me by this troll king because I wasn't paying attention and I got frozen over and over again. Unfortunate. And then when I went back to get my body, I had the wrong prayer up, or it didn't last as long or something, and I got stacked out by the rangers at the entrance to the boss fight, so I died again. I was not too happy about that. But what I am happy about is the fact that I now have this troll's head in my bag, and I'm about to get a really cool helm and put it on my head. Completing the Frenetic Trials and Isles also serves a secondary purpose on if I wanted to use an Archer Helm in the fight caves, so I have access to that in case I want to use it. As a small aside, I also learned how to cook haram ones, that way I could save a little bit of money there by buying raw ones on the GE. I have to say, fuck these stupid brothers, they're so annoying, and especially this guy right here. Fuck him. Fuck this guy right here. If my character could Ivan blast this fucker into the sea, he would, and I would too. And this brings us to the third era in my Barrows career. At this point, I'm only using 1 prayer potion per trip, and sometimes I only need to use 2 doses. It was honestly a really cool feeling seeing the difference from when I first started just chugging these bad boys to barely sipping them at all. Some of that is definitely thanks to the gear upgrades, but I do believe that it is also me becoming a better player. Right? It's gotta be. With every run, I felt a bit more comfortable letting my prayer get lower and lower, the same with my HP, kind of figuring out what the max hits of these brothers were, and I was able to stay just above that for the most part. That way I was able to not waste as many supplies, so I can eventually save money in the long run. In order to recoup the cost of all of these runs, I would sell my Chaos and Blood runes, and if I really needed to, I would sell off some of my Death runes to keep my funds going to keep these runs going. This ended up being a very fun experience overall, even though I did go very dry on my first item. And I think right there is where we're going to end the video. According to my loot tracker, I've made about 3 mil from Barrows, but cutting that with teleports, food, and prayer pots, I haven't made that much at all. I've probably made close to like a mil, 1.5 mil maybe. I'm not going to do the actual calculations because I'm lazy and that sounds like work. In the next episode, we will take on the next portion of the elf storyline and kill a king. Until then, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all later. Goodbye. Oh, wait, before I go, I do want to just ask real fast if anyone would be interested in live streams. These would not be limited to just Runescape, but Runescape would take up a good chunk of them probably. If you are interested, what platforms would you want to watch them on? Twitch or YouTube? Let me know, because it's something I've thought about doing, just haven't ended up doing it yet. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Back to the outro. Jeez, just interrupt me, why don't you? I'm trying to send the people off here, God. Anyways, again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.